How do social movements reach their unstoppable tipping point? Imagine a small spark igniting a wildfire that spreads across a forest. That's how social movements grow until they reach a point where change becomes unavoidable. When a movement mobilizes about 25% of the population actively supporting it, society can shift quickly and permanently. This number is not a random guess. Research shows that this level of participation can trigger large-scale social change. It's like a critical mass that turns a small effort into a wave of transformation. A social tipping point happens when a small change in how people behave or think causes a big shift in society. Think of it like a row of dominoes falling. Once enough dominoes topple, the rest follow in rapid succession. This domino effect starts when early supporters influence their friends and neighbors, spreading new ideas or behaviors. As more people join in, the movement's influence snowballs, making the old ways seem less relevant or acceptable. When enough people embrace the new norm, society's balance tips, and what was once unusual becomes the new standard. The idea of a 25% threshold is important because it shows that a majority isn't needed for real change. A committed minority can reshape what society considers normal or acceptable. This is especially true for issues like civil rights, environmental protection, or gender equality. Movements don't need everyone to agree right away. They just need enough people to push the change forward. Once that critical number is reached, leaders and institutions start to respond because they see that supporting the movement is in their best interest. Movements grow toward their tipping point through a few key steps. First, they create new norms within small groups of dedicated supporters. These early adopters build networks, both online and offline, where new ideas take root. As these networks expand, the movement's message spreads to larger audiences. Second, they shift what society sees as acceptable to talk about or support. Over time, issues like marriage equality or racial justice become part of mainstream conversation. This change in public attitude makes policy shifts more likely. Third, political leaders start to see that supporting the movement can benefit them politically. When they realize that backing change can help their chances of re-election or strengthen their position, they are more willing to act. This is when a movement moves from being a protest to a force that influences laws and policies. Critical moments, called critical junctures, are times when society is especially open to change. These moments might be during economic crises, political upheavals, or social unrest. They create opportunities for movements to push through barriers that normally hold them back. From an ethical point of view, reaching a tipping point involves responsibility. Movements that grow large enough to influence society must be careful about how they do it. The choices they make about leadership, resources, and tactics matter. Using violence or manipulation might bring quick results but can damage trust and legitimacy. On the other hand, inclusive and transparent organizing builds a movement that lasts. When a movement reaches 25% participation through fair and respectful methods, it has a better chance of creating lasting change that benefits everyone. To get there, organizers focus on mobilizing people with a real stake in the issue. They communicate clearly why the movement matters and target key institutions or decision-makers. Building strong networks and leadership at different levels helps keep momentum going. Connecting specific issues to larger stories about justice or fairness makes the movement more appealing to a wider audience. Timing also plays a role. Movements that act when society is already under stress or facing uncertainty can tip the scales more easily. They seize opportunities when institutions are vulnerable and ready for change. In the end, social movements reach their unstoppable point when enough people actively support new norms and behaviors. This critical mass creates a self-sustaining wave that shifts society's ideas and policies. It's not about convincing everyone but about building a committed minority that can influence the majority. The journey involves strategic organizing, network building, and ethical choices that respect human dignity. Understanding how these tipping points work gives activists hope and a clear path to making meaningful, lasting change.